Morning, guys. It's me, Mrs. Ferreira. I'm trying something new today. I'm recording a lesson on Zoom to see how it works. I'm going to kind of flip between different screens and we'll see how this all works. But I'm going to start by reading this book, Caps for Sale. It's a book about a peddler, which means someone who sells something, and some monkeys and their monkey business. So we'll get right to work. Those of you that Zoomed with me yesterday, you heard this live. So this is for my friends who missed the Zoom yesterday. Caps for sale. Once there was a peddler who sold caps, but he was not like an ordinary peddler carrying his wares on his back. He carried them on top of his head. First he had on his old checked cap, then a bunch of gray caps, then a bunch of brown caps, and a bunch of blue caps, and on the very top, a bunch of red caps. He walked up and down the streets, holding himself very straight as to not upset his caps. As he went along, he called, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." One morning, he couldn't sell any caps. He walked up the street and he walked down the street calling, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." But nobody wanted any caps that morning. Nobody wanted even a red cap. He began to feel very hungry, but he had no money for lunch. "I think I'll go for a walk in the country," said he. And he walked out of town slowly, slowly, as so not to upset his caps. He walked for a long time until he came to a big tree. "That's a nice place for a rest," thought he. And he sat down very slowly under the tree and leaned back little by little against the tree trunk so as not to disturb the caps on his head. Then he put his hand on his head to feel that they were all straight. First his own checkered cap, then the gray caps, then the brown caps, and the blue caps, then the red caps on the very, very top. They were all there, so he went to sleep. He slept for a long time. When he awoke, he felt refreshed and rested. But before standing up, he felt with his hand to make sure his caps were in the right place. All he felt was his own checked cap. He looked to the right of him. No caps. He looked to the left of him. No caps. He looked to the back of him. No caps. He looked behind the tree. No caps. Then he looked up into the tree, and what do you think he saw? On every branch sat a monkey. On every monkey sat a gray, brown, blue, or red cap. The peddler looked at the monkeys. The monkeys looked at the peddler. He didn't know what to do. Finally, he spoke to them. "You monkeys, you," he said, shaking a finger at them. "You give me back my caps." But the monkeys only shook their finger back at him and said, "Tss, tss, tss." That made the peddler angry, so he shook both of his hands at them and said, "You monkeys, you give me back my caps." But the monkeys only shook both their hands back at him and said, "Tss, tss, tss." Now he felt quite angry. So he stamped his foot and said, "You monkeys, you better give me back my caps." But the monkeys only stamped their foot back at him and said, "Tss, tss, tss." At last, he became so angry that he pulled his own cap, threw it on the ground, and began to walk away. I think you're going to like this part. But then each monkey pulled off his cap. Remember, they're repeating the peddler. And all the gray caps and all the brown caps and all the blue caps and all the red caps came flying down out of the tree. So the peddler picked up his caps and put them back on his head. First his own check cap, then the gray caps, then the brown caps, then the blue caps, then the red caps on the very top. And slowly, slowly, he walked back into town calling, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." So going back to our fraction unit, boys and girls, that we talked about, that we've been talking about this week, I want to pull up a picture here and talk about some different things that we have, see if we can take a look at this picture here. And Here we go. You should right now see the picture from the book, and it's got his caps on his head. And we see we have his checked cap, then 1, 2, 3, 4 gray caps, 1, 2, 3, 4 brown caps, 1, 2, 3, 4 blue caps, and 1, 2, 3, 4 red caps. So let's try to hold that information in our head. 4 red, 4 blue, 4 brown, 4 gray, and his own checked cap, okay? So Mrs. Furr is going to share another screen. I'm going to stop sharing this one, and we're going to write that data down so we can kind of talk a little bit about, there we go. All right, so let's try to remember. He had 1 checked cap, 4 gray caps, right? 4 brown caps. I might do this in the wrong order, and I'm sorry if I do. 4 blue caps, yep, and 4 red caps. Okay, so the first thing we need to do for a fraction lesson is we need to figure out what our total is, okay? So the total is what we're going to do to add all these up. So we're going to take these numbers and we're going to add them up. And as we've talked about in class, you want to take the numbers that are like each other and add them together. So 4 plus 4 we know is what? I hope you're saying 8, because we've talked about that a lot. Then if 4 plus 4 is 8 there, then this 4 plus 4 is also 8. Then we just need to figure out 8 plus 8 plus 1. I want you to figure that out right now. I'm going to give you a couple minutes, or about 40 seconds to figure that out. So maybe hold 8 in your head, count 8 more up, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, plus 1 more would be, I hope you're saying 17. Okay, so our total number of caps is 17, okay? So when we talk about fractions, we talk about how there's a number on top. We have a number on top, that's the numerator, the number we're talking about. Then we have a straight line going across, and then we have the denominator, which is the total number. So for this example about the caps, our total number is always going to be 17, because that's the total number of caps we're talking about. Okay? So if Mrs. Furr would ask you, what is the fractional part of caps that are gray? You're going to go back over to our information and you're going to look for, I'll change my color so it's a little easier to see. We're going to look here for our gray caps. How many gray caps do we have? I wish you were here to answer it in real life, but I'll just have to answer it for you. We have 4 gray caps. So the way that we say that fraction is 4/17. 4/17 of the caps are gray. So let's see if we talked about red caps. Yeah. Red caps are right here. So the numerator is the number on top. That's how many we're talking about, is 4. We draw a straight line across. And what was the total number of caps we had again? Oh, right here. Total number of caps is 17. So we're going to say that 4/17. Remember we talked about how the bottom number, we don't say 4/17, we say 4/17. Like we put that THS on the end of it. We talked about that in math class before we had this break. Let's try one more for today. We're going to talk about this checked cap up here. We just have this guy right here. How many checked caps are there? That was his own cap, the one he had first on his head, and it was just 1. So the way we would write that fraction is we write 1 of the caps is checked. We draw the line that tells this is the part, and then this is how many all together down here. And we go back to the total number, and the total number is 17. So the checked caps is 1/17 of the hats. So we're going to be doing more with this, guys, as we go on. I wanted just to give this a try. This is the lesson I tried to do yesterday with the class that could Zoom live. And this is kind of just a recap of what we did there. I hope to see you guys on Zoom today. Today's Wednesday from 1 to 2, and we're going to be doing a different activity. And I miss you guys a lot, and I hope you're doing great. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen real quick if I can figure out how to do that. And I miss you guys a lot. I hope you're doing great, and I hope to see you today on Zoom. Take care. Bye-bye.